Didn't you hear me? I said I only wished to speak.
Okay, I just want to talk about today's episode because it was genuinely good, and it's the second to last episode before the finale of Invincible next week, which is kind of disappointing. I really was hoping to spend more time with the cast of Invincible and just see them, but it's kind of disappointing that we only have like 4 episodes in the second half of the season. Now we gotta wait so and so months for another season. But yeah, I just want to talk about the episode because it was genuinely good. Like, the first half of the episode was pretty lighthearted. Then the second half essentially went grimdark and really, really dark. And Mark is basically cooked. Like, and so is Alan. Well, not necessarily, but I really like the way that they're adapting the comics to the show, mostly because they're like changing it for the better. For example, like in the beginning of the show, Mark is at Comic-Con. He gets to meet the creator of Seance Dog or Science Dog in the comics, and he asks him questions. Hey, how do you do it? How do you make a comic book? How do you make this thing so successful? And in the comic version, the creator goes on to say, oh, we just do this. We change things around. That's why the comic sometimes looks lazy, blah, blah, blah. And in the adaptation of the show, the creator goes on to say, yeah, sometimes we like to use still images. Sometimes we take our time with the fight. Sometimes it looks sloppy just because it's a bit easier for us, blah, blah, blah. And it's more of a self-poke at themselves, like they're joking, making fun of themselves. That's like when people in real life ask, why is the animation taking forever? Why does the animation look dog sometimes? Why is it released taking forever? Here in this episode, it essentially answers that by Amazon making fun of themselves. Like, yeah, we know the problem and we're not going to fix it. We just like money. That's essentially what it boils down to, like in the adaptation, which I genuinely like because nowadays most people don't read too many comic books, so it would be kind of hard to translate that. But I really like the way they formatted it, where it makes fun of the animation, goes at the animation industry and like how things are done when it's animated. It was pretty interesting. I wasn't really expecting that a whole lot, but I really liked the scene nonetheless. And you in the show, you got to see some people just as Invincible. I think you saw like a parody of the Akatsuki from Naruto. Like in the background, you saw them wearing blue instead of red for copyright reasons, and it was just pretty cool. You're seeing them at Comic-Con and you're seeing other people dress, because it's basically how we in real life like to cosplay as Invincible, and like the team is basically poking fun or like joking around, parodying, oh yeah, we do this, blah blah blah. Pretty interesting stuff. Then obviously you got the Rexplode type of thing. He's dealing with his own stuff, and then you have Rudy trying to like fix Monster Girl. I can fix her. Yeah, no bro, he's not gonna fix her, at least not yet. Maybe to like season 3, season 4. That's gonna get insanely crazy. And then you got I forgot his name, but what's his face, best friend's boyfriend, trying to deal with him being a robot. You got all that stuff, but the most important part of the episode is the Anissa part, because I really like the atmosphere, how the tone essentially shifted when Anissa came into the scene. You could feel the tension, you could feel the pressure changing, like, oh shit, like Anissa is here, she is going to cook us, she is stronger, faster than Omni-Man, she is going to annihilate Mark. And in the episode, it honestly proves that Mark stood absolutely no chance. The only chance he had in standing against Invincible was just words, simple words. Just by twisting the little words around, he was able to convince Anissa, you need me or you don't, and she flew off to space. Like, I just like the introduction of her, because in the comic version, it's Mark's and his mom just eating dinner or eating a lunch date, like they're out getting lunch, and that's when Anissa threatens his mom and he ends up fighting her. And obviously they still kept the same part of the scene from the comic where both of them go to rescue the civilians from the cruise ship against this kaiju monster. However, in the adaptation version, it kind of makes Anissa's character feel a bit better. Well, she's not really a good person, but it makes her feel a bit better, more straightforward, saying, hey, Earth is kind of cooked, but we're gonna fix it. By fix it, it's gonna be under Viltrum control. And Mark completely disagrees with that. And obviously Anissa says some interesting things. Like, if you don't know anything about Invincible, like, if say you're in this world and you're hearing what Anissa is saying, we can bring world peace, we can end world hunger, obviously it's gonna sound pretty intriguing. It's gonna sound pretty tempting to give control over to the Viltrumites. And Anissa does have a point that this world is getting cooked by the elites, by the greed. This world is essentially doomed because human nature is dooming the planet. And she does have a pretty fair point, but Mark says no, it doesn't really matter what you say, because at the end of the day, we're gonna get cooked. Doesn't matter. I've seen what Viltrum is capable of. They don't really care. They're just as bad as the humans, if not even worse. And that's when they essentially get into a fight, and like bro is getting cooked left, right, and center. Anissa's just weaving, dodging, left, right, kick. Anything Mark tries, she is absolutely folding him. Even Cecil starts to question like, damn, we really can't do anything. Our weapons aren't effective. Our superheroes, they won't make it in time. Like, no one is strong enough to defeat her. We just gotta hope and pray that Mark is able to somehow defeat her, but he ends up just convincing her to leave. And Cecil at the end of the episode is like, damn, we're really cooked out here. Like, we don't have any weapons strong enough to defeat him. But yeah, I just like the introduction of Anissa, how threatening she is. And like, if you're familiar with the comics, you know what she does later on, and I'm curious to see how they're gonna adapt that. It probably won't happen to like season 3, season 4 at the latest, because there is a lot of crazy stuff that happens in Invincible. But the way that they're adapting the comics, I feel like that might happen a little bit sooner than later, towards the end of season 3, because I'm really curious how they're gonna pull this off. Other than that, it was a really good episode. I'm just kind of saddened that it's like the second to final episode before the finale and before season 3. So I really hope season 3. I'll talk about that later on. But yeah, it's just a good episode. Anyways, did you guys like the introduction of Anissa? Because she felt very threatening and very menacing. Also, Amber, man, she's kind of annoying. But yeah, that's it.